So it is almost 11:40 at night right now. I went to bed earlier today at 5:30 to get some sleep because my friend Nick and I are going to be doing a 24-hour movie marathon. Now, I've done this before on the channel. You guys have probably seen my old cringy videos of me doing the 24-hour movie marathon, but I decided during quarantine this is the time to do it again. I've been wanting to do it for a little bit, and what better time than now? Here's a quick shot of outside. This is like super weird because normally I'm going to bed around this time. So to be waking up at this time does not feel normal. And so I'm gonna have a separate video explaining all the categories and all of that. In fact, let's just cut to that future Nathan right now. Thanks, Nathan. Hey guys, future Nathan here. It is 2 days after I did the marathon and I feel much more refreshed. Spoiler alert, I made it through it. So here's the criteria of this 24-hour movie marathon. You gotta watch a movie from your birth year. You have to watch 2 movies that are 170 minutes or longer. You gotta watch an animated movie. Gotta watch a Best Picture winner. You have to sneak in there a foreign film. You gotta watch a black and white movie. You need to watch a movie that has been on your watch list for a very long time that you haven't seen. And then this is kind of a fun category. We chose to watch a movie that the other recommended to us. So I'm gonna be watching a movie that Nick recommended I watch. And also, you gotta watch a comedy. And so this marathon won't be going by the same guidelines as a lot of the other marathons. It's kind of like Nick and I just made our own criteria. We have the same criteria, but we might not necessarily be watching the same movies in order, just because we really base the order of movies we watch off of how tired we will be while doing this marathon. Right now, I wanted to start off with a movie that I think will kind of wake me up, but not like too action-packed. And so I will be starting off with the first category for me, a movie from my birth year. So I was born in 1996 and I will be watching the Wes Anderson film Bottle Rocket. Oh, and another disclosure, every movie we're watching today is a first time watch for us. Bottle Rocket interests me because it's Wes Anderson and I've never not liked a movie by Wes Anderson. And Owen Wilson is in it and that guy's great. Like, what's not to love about him? Okay. All right, I'm not even 5 minutes in yet, and I'm already very intrigued. I also forgot to mention, this is Wes Anderson's directorial debut. He made a short for this originally, but this is the first time, like the first full-length feature he made. So he has such a signature style to his movies that I'm just really curious to see what this one is like. Almost about 30 minutes into the movie, and it's just so quirky. It's really funny. And also, I haven't really seen too many movies with Luke Wilson. I know he's Owen Wilson's brother, but seeing the two of them together in a movie is really funny to me, and I didn't realize how similar Luke is to Owen Wilson. One of my worries about this marathon is that I went to bed at 5:30 yesterday and woke up at 9:30 because I couldn't get any sleep. And so really, I only got 4 hours of sleep, and now I'm trying to stay up for 24 hours. So I'm a little worried about that, not gonna lie, but I looked up a few tips on how to like stay up late and everything, stay up for 24 hours, and it includes exercising, moving around, keeping lights on, so I'll probably be watching every movie with lights on, honestly. And then caffeine, I have caffeine ready, and so I'm taking all the precautions I can. As far as the movie goes, it's actually really enjoyable so far. I really like it. It kind of reminds me of the 2016 film Hell or High Water, but it doesn't take itself nearly as serious either. Okay guys, so I just finished Bottle Rocket and I liked it a lot. Owen Wilson's character had me laughing a few times, even if I'm exhausted right now. Starting off the marathon strong and excited to watch the next movie. And I might as well just announce what that next movie is. So for the next category, Nick and I were thinking that we should knock out the longest movies first because it's going to be hard to do those long movies later on in the day when we're both exhausted. And so we have to watch 2 movies that are 170 minutes or longer. I'm going to start my first one right now, and I chose The Great Escape for that first movie. I'm really excited to watch this movie because, first off, a lot of people have recommended it to me. Second off, it was announced on the Criterion Collection recently. I think it comes out in June or May, I think.
3:28 a.m.
I just realized Richard Attenborough, I think his name is, the guy from Jurassic Park, the one who says, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." He's totally in this movie, and he's like super young too, which is like so cool. Okay guys, so it is just about 4:30 now. Finished The Great Escape, and I really liked it. It just wasn't really what I was expecting. I was expecting the movie to be like the first hour is character background, getting to know the characters, and getting to know the prisoner of war camp and all that, just kind of like story building. And then the second part of the movie would be all about the escape plan. No, like from the very beginning of the movie, it is all an escape plan. And so they are planning the escape the entire movie. But yeah, this movie was really good. And I'm sure you're wondering, Nathan, what is the next 170-minute movie you're going to watch? That is a great question. It is called The Best Years of Our Lives. There are a few reasons I chose this movie. First off, it won Best Picture. And I'm trying to see every Best Picture winner ever, and so just one more I can check off the list. Secondly, not only did it win Best Picture, but it beat It's a Wonderful Life at winning Best Picture. And so because of that, I want to see what this movie has going for it. If it can beat It's a Wonderful Life for Best Picture, I need to see what the big deal is. Thirdly, well, there isn't a thirdly. Yeah, that's all I got.
2,000 years later.
All right, so I just finished The Best Years of Our Lives. It is about 7:30 in the morning, and the movie was okay. 3 military veterans, they come home from the war, and it's about them picking up where they left off in life. And it's talking about how it's a struggle picking up with life after you've been gone from it for so long. I mean, you see a scene of one of the characters jolting awake from a nightmare. So I think that it won Best Picture because if you think about it, this movie came out in 1946. The war ended in 1945. People were still big on the war, as they should have been. That was still a big impact in their lives. And so I feel like seeing a movie like this, where it was talking about veterans coming home from the war, it was probably a huge hit, and a lot of people probably loved it. It was probably deserved of the Best Picture win that it got. Now, is it better than It's a Wonderful Life? Absolutely not. It's a Wonderful Life is my #1 movie of all time. So, I mean, of course it's not. As far as the movie itself went, it was pretty good. I thought that it was really sappy. The story of it didn't feel dated because I understand that veterans come home from the war and they definitely struggle with getting acquainted with life as it is. But just, I think the score of it and the way it was acted, the method of acting, all that tied up in a bundle just felt really dated to me. The story lives on, but the movie itself felt dated, if that makes any sense. And also with it being a black and white film and nearly 3 hours long, it was a little hard to follow. This was the movie that I was kind of like moving around during. I did some exercises. I made some eggs and toast while I watched it, and I just had to kind of like move around while I watched it because I can't be getting this tired this early on in the marathon. And so for my next movie, I will be watching an animated movie. And the one I chose is Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Now, the reason I chose this movie was because I'm trying to see every Oscar winner for Best Animated Feature. And Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit is one of the winners from 2005. So enough of me talking. Let's get this movie started.
A few moments later.
All right, guys. So I just finished Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. And, you know, it was a fine movie. It was a cute movie. I've never been a huge fan of this style of animation. I love stop motion animation when it's something like Fantastic Mr. Fox or Isle of Dogs or anything from Leica Studios. I like that style of animation. Looking past that, the movie was still enjoyable. It definitely has a British sense of humor, and I'm all for a British sense of humor. And, you know, it was just a fun movie. I didn't realize how Halloween-like it would feel. And it was kind of nice to get some Halloween vibes in April. All right, and so for the next movie, I'm going to be watching a Best Picture winner. Now, I'm excited about this one. It is In the Heat of the Night. It stars Sidney Poitier, I think is how you pronounce his name, as well as Rod Steiger, I believe his name is. I don't know too much about the movie. I know that it deals with racism and that it's a Best Picture winner. That's pretty much all I know. Oh, and it's a Criterion, so that's pretty cool. All right, well, I just finished In the Heat of the Night, and I really liked that movie. Man, I just thoroughly enjoyed it. So, like I said before, it hits a lot on racism, and that's so unfortunate, but it's accurate. It's history. Things I liked about the movie: Sidney Poitier, I loved his character and the actor's performance. And honestly, I really want to see more of his movies now. I know that he made a movie, I think it's called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? I really want to see that movie. And then there's another one in the Criterion Collection. I think it's called A Raisin in the Sun. And I believe he won an Oscar for that movie. And so I want to check out that movie now too. Honestly, like next Criterion sale, I might be picking up a few Sidney Poitier films because I definitely want In the Heat of the Night in my collection. Rod Steiger also did an amazing job and his performance as the cop. And I believe he won the Oscar for his performance too. I don't even think Sidney Poitier was nominated for this film. And for the next movie, I will be watching a foreign language film. Nick and I actually will be watching the same movie. We try to look for something that would keep us entertained, but still fulfill the category of foreign language film. And so the movie that we'll be watching is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I don't know too much about this movie other than that there's a bunch of like stylized action. That's all I know about it. And so I'm pretty excited for it. And I feel like that's exactly what I need in this marathon right now. Just kind of something to wake me up and to keep me glued to the screen with all its action and whatnot. Before I start it though, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm just going to shower, kind of get ready for the day. And also I'm going to deliver, or I'm not going to deliver. I'm going to order a pizza.
12 seconds later.
So I just showered, I kind of got ready for the day, feel a lot more energized. So that really helped and that's good because I needed that. Also, I have a pizza on the way and then I also have some root beer with caffeine in it. And hopefully that will help me just be even more energized for this next movie. Hey. Whoop, whoop. Oh, yes. Okay, so I just finished Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and you know, it was a fun movie. It's definitely the best action sequences I have ever seen put to film. I was just like in awe watching the different scenes play out. This action is very stylized, very choreographed, and it was very entertaining to watch. And so anytime the action was happening, I was very alert and just glued to the story. But the movie itself, if you take out the action scenes, I don't know, it wasn't like a bad movie. It was fine. It was a fine movie. It's nothing that I loved, but honestly, the action scenes are my biggest takeaway. So I'm glad I watched it. I think that it was the best possible foreign film I could have watched under these circumstances. So the next category of movie I'll be watching is a black and white movie, and the one I chose is Raging Bull, which I'm actually really excited to see because I have been wanting to see this movie since high school. So it's gonna be awesome. Raging Bull, let's do it. Raging Bull just ended, and you know, I didn't like it. I really did not like it. So here's the thing. Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci give amazing performances. I believe they're both nominated for Oscars. Robert De Niro won for this role. So he definitely deserved that win. I think he was phenomenal. But here's the thing. I hated his character. His character was so unlikable. And when I'm watching a boxing movie, especially one of those like boxing underdog movies, I want to be watching someone that I'm rooting for, like Rocky Balboa or Jim Braddock in Cinderella Man, someone that I like, that I care for. And I get that Raging Bull is more of a study on this character's life outside of the ring. And I know that it's like a true story and everything. So I don't know how to fully voice my opinion on it with being fair. But I'll just be honest, I just didn't like Robert De Niro's character at all. He was an absolute jerk to his family, to all his loved ones, and there's never a moment where I found his behavior like justified or sensical. It was just a movie where I was watching it and I wasn't entertained because of how just kind of put off I was by his character. But like I said, his performance was amazing because he made me hate him, and that was impressive. And also, I won't lie, this movie ended up being pretty hard to sit through at times because of the black and white cinematography. I had to rewatch a few scenes. It took me a little longer than it should have to watch this movie. I made sure that the last 3 movies I watch in this marathon are all at least fairly entertaining. I purposely placed them at the end because I figured I would be struggling with staying awake at this point, so thought it'd be good. So the next movie I'll be watching is a movie that has been on my watch list for a long time, and I'm so excited to finally check this movie out. For this category, I chose the movie Dr. No. I have only seen the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, so I know it's crazy, but I've only seen those ones, and so I've been wanting to see more James Bond for a long time. So I'm excited to check this one out. I'm hoping that it's kind of just like campy, just kind of cheesy, and that's what I'm hoping to get out of it. I'm hoping to just enjoy it and be entertained by it. So we'll see what happens. Okay. I do know about the iconic opening, so I can say that. Although I've never seen the movie, I know about the iconic opening. All right, just a little update. It is 6:16 in the evening, and I'm paused James Bond real quick to pull out this vegetable tray I got from Walmart. So, wish me luck. All right, so I just finished Dr. No, and it was pretty much exactly what I expected it was going to be. Really cheesy, kind of campy, but mostly cheesy. It wasn't a bad movie by any means, but it wasn't something I was a huge fan of, but it was something that kept me entertained, and I enjoyed watching it. I'm not gonna jump on the James Bond bandwagon and watch all the movies now. Honestly, I think it'll take me years to finally watch all these movies. But I'm just glad to say that I've officially seen more than just the Daniel Craig movies now. All right, so it is now 7:08 at night, and I have 2 movies left of the 24-hour movie marathon. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty good. I feel really good, going strong. The last 2 movies, I think I'll be able to get through. I know I'll be able to get through. Who am I kidding? Hey, sorry, I'm gonna interrupt real quick. Future Nathan here. So the next movie I watch is Inglorious Bastards, directed by Quentin Tarantino. Now, I have young viewers who watch my channel, and I just want to throw a disclaimer out there. For whatever reason, Quentin Tarantino, he misspelled the word Inglorious and Bastards in the movie title. So it's not a curse word that we're used to hearing. It's pretty much just a made-up word now. So when you hear me saying it, I'm not cussing, I'm just saying the movie title. And a lot of you are going to be like, Nathan, come on, stop being so petty. But I have young viewers. I just want to throw it out there. So this next category is a pretty fun one for what movie I'm going to be watching. Nick and I decided that it would be fun if we could choose a movie for each other that we have to watch for the 24-hour movie marathon. And so Nick chose a movie for me to watch, and I will be watching Inglorious Bastards, directed by Quentin Tarantino. This is a movie that has also been on my watch list for a very long time, so it's kind of a win-win. Thanks, Nick, for suggesting that to me. I know that it's Nick's favorite Tarantino film, and I love Brad Pitt as an actor too, and so I'm really excited to watch this movie. If you want to know what I suggested for Nick, you're gonna have to watch his video. As I mentioned earlier, the link to his video will be in the description below. So yeah, Inglorious Bastards is 2.5 hours, and it's a little bit past 7 now, so I'm expecting to end around 9:30, right before 10, around that time frame, and then we should be done with the marathon by just about 11:40. So let's do this thing. Hey everyone, just finished Inglorious Bastards, and that movie was absolutely insane. Honestly, my thoughts on Inglorious Bastards, I'm gonna have to let it sit with me because I am so tired right now that I can't even think straight right now. I'll have my thoughts later on in the video, so trust me, I'll give you my thoughts. But for what it's worth, it's probably my favorite Tarantino film, but I'll have to give myself more time to think. I cannot believe this marathon is still going. I can't believe there's one more movie I need to watch. So it is 10 o'clock, and I am one movie away from finishing this bad boy. One movie away. So close. Anyways, for the very last movie, it's going to be a comedy, and I purposely saved the comedy for last because I figured that I'd be super tired and it'd be best to just watch a comedy. So I'm watching the movie 16 Candles, directed by John Hughes. I've never seen it, and I'm trying to watch every John Hughes movie. So I think this was his directorial debut, so that's pretty cool. We are almost there, guys. We are almost freaking there. So I'm gonna stop blabbering and I'm gonna get this movie started. Come on, you got this, Nathan. Come on. Should probably watch this movie.
Come on, chop chop. We got relatives invading this afternoon.
Ginny, Mike, Sarah, Sam, come on.
Our own phone line. I don't have my own phone line.
Mike, grab the gun. You can eat your carrots when you get home.
That's it? You don't have anything else to say to me today?
What would you like me to say, Sam?
Happy birthday!
Come on now, honey, you're gonna miss the bus. Have a good
Stupid
day.
mom. Making me sick. Oh no. Okay. Total spoiler. I don't even care. I don't even care. We made it. We freaking... Shut up. Shut up. We made it. I finished the last movie. It is 11:32. I finished 24 hours. I'm exhausted right now. I'm gonna go to bed and creep. Hey, quiet. Okay, that's creepy. Okay. Oh my gosh. My laptop is still playing, yet it is closed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to bed, and then there's gonna be another video I film soon that will rank all the movies that I watched in this 24-hour movie marathon. Thank you guys for joining along with me, and here's the other part of the video. Good night. So as you guys saw, I survived the 24-hour movie marathon. Now I just wanted to rank the 10 movies I watched from worst to best. There wasn't really a movie that I hated from this marathon, but there were ones that I didn't love. Starting off the list at number 10 is The Best Years of Our Lives. This movie was enjoyable enough, but it was just too sappy for my liking. Number 9 was Raging Bull. I expressed a lot of my opinion in my vlog. It was mostly that I just didn't care for Robert De Niro's character at all, and that made me dislike the movie a lot more. Number 8 goes to Dr. No. This was by no means a bad movie, it just happens to be on the lower half of the list. Number 7 goes to Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. It was a fun, enjoyable movie, not one that I'll watch again anytime soon, but for what it's worth, I enjoyed it when I watched it. Number 6 goes to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, a movie that I loved the action in, but everything else was just okay. Number 5 goes to 16 Candles. This was the comedy movie I needed at the end of my marathon. I was so exhausted, and after finishing Inglorious Bastards, which was a 2.5-hour movie, I just needed something to, well, for one, cheer me up, and also one to just like keep me awake, and this fulfilled it. And plus, it was a solid John Hughes film. I liked it. Number 4 goes to Bottle Rocket. I liked this movie a lot. It was a great movie to start the marathon with because I kind of figured that I would enjoy it, and so I wanted to start off with a movie that I knew I would like and one that would kind of just get me pumped for the marathon, and Bottle Rocket fulfilled that. Number 3 goes to The Great Escape. The Great Escape was just a fun time. It was nearly 3 hours long, yet it didn't really feel that long. It was well stacked with an amazing cast and a great plot as well. Like I said, it didn't feel as long as it was, and there was never a moment where I was bored. I think I watched it from about 1:30 to 4:30 in the morning, so that's saying a lot. Number 2 goes to Inglorious Bastards. Now with Quentin Tarantino, he's not my favorite director in the world because I'm not a fan of a lot of violence in movies, and I feel like that's kind of his signature in films. He loves the violence, and Inglorious Bastards definitely had that violence in it. But with that being said, it also had a very suspenseful story with it as well, and the performances from Christoph Waltz, who won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, as well as Brad Pitt, and honestly, the whole cast were just amazing, and I was just invested in this story. This was the second to last movie I watched in my marathon, yet I was fully awake the entire time where I should have been falling asleep. I really enjoyed this movie. But with that being said, I have a hard time saying I loved this movie. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Myers-Briggs testing, but I have an ENFJ personality where I feel for others. Even if they're a bad person, I still think about how they have their own human life. Like, they are still a person, they still suffer. And so parts of the movie were hard to watch for me, and that goes with any Quentin Tarantino film, to be completely honest. I can't deny that this movie still had a beautiful story and a great plot where it was separated into different storylines. I really liked it. And number 1 goes to In the Heat of the Night. This was kind of a surprise. I wasn't necessarily expecting a bad movie out of this, but I wasn't expecting it to be my number 1 of the whole marathon. I was very pleasantly surprised with this movie. I loved Sidney Poitier's performance, and like I said in the marathon, I really want to check out more of his movies now. And I was just impressed. It was just a movie that I watched about, I think it was about almost halfway through the marathon, and overall, I just really liked it. And so I was glad that it made number 1. Guys, thank you so much for joining me along with this 24-hour movie marathon. Make sure to click the link in the description below to head over to Nick's video, because his video will be what he watched, and you can also see what movie I recommended for him to watch. Make sure to comment below on what your thoughts were on the movies that I watched, and I'll see you in the next video.